Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Blizzard Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a dive into one of my newer favorite albums from a really good blackened thrash band that just put out a killer release. But before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit the like button if you're super excited for this release as I am. Today we're going to be looking at the sophomore album for blackened speed thrashers Demiser and their new album To The Scythe, out today, August 23rd on Metal Blade Records / Blacklight Media. Demiser is a 5-piece blackened thrash band from South Carolina. They formed back in 2017. They had previously released their debut album, Through the Gates Eternal, out back in 2021, and to much critical success to the underground metal scene. Blackened thrash has definitely blown up as a subgenre within the last few years, from acts such as Grave Ripper, Vicious Blade, Wraith, Bastard Cross, coming out with insanely good underground blackened speed thrash metal. And Demiser has definitely added themselves to this list of bands. With them being from South Carolina, really adds a kind of cool southern style to it, I guess you could say. They're known for a lot of their horse-style vocals with insane galloping riffs that coincide with lyrics about, all the good stuff. Hell, sex, booze, Satan, all the good stuff. But with this release, they really take it up a notch and begin to push themselves even further beyond their own boundaries and their own comfort zone, and to really hone in on their sound. And this is very evident with this insane blistering drum solo that kicks the album off with the track Peace. Recently, I had the opportunity to speak with Demiser from Demiser. You can check out that interview, and he goes into talking about this song, where that inspiration just kicking off with this insane drum solo from Judas Priest's Painkiller, and definitely really sets the tone for the rest of the album. One of the standout tracks from this album is definitely, for me, would be the song Total Demise, which is just layered with these increasingly fast riffs, with multiple solos coming in from the band's guitar players, Grave Pisser and Valomancer. Also with the solo from Chuck from the band Ares Kingdom, which I find this song just definitely just feels just fast, intense, in your face. I love it. Another one of my favorite songs from the album would be the single Hell is Full of Fire, which almost has this war cry feeling to it in a sorts, like I'm about to go into battle with hell itself. And just kind of feels like, with those galloping riffs that I was mentioning earlier, alongside these like triumphant harmonies that are happening with that dual action guitar, very, very influenced in this album. I can hear with a lot of just early proto black stuff, and even some speed metal in there, and new wave of British heavy metal influences all throughout this album, and I find it just incredible. To The Scythe also brings back elements from the band's first release, not only with a really cool interlude that separates the album from the A side and the B side, kind of separating the feelings, I guess, between the two. With the first half of the album kind of just being, more, I guess, a funner side of the whole experience with blackened speed metal, versus the more hellish side that is the B side that we'll get into a little bit later on. Also with this album, the elements that they're bringing back from their first release is the titles of titles. On their first album, Through the Gates Eternal, they had a song called Demiser to Demiser, and on To The Scythe, they now have Valomancer the Valomancer. Hopefully I get to hear, with the next 3 releases, we get one for everybody. The album closes out with this 8-minute epic piece of just pure blackened thrashness that highlights the band's influences from a plethora of proto-black legends, including Bathory, Destroyer 666, Venom, a little bit of early Slayer in there, to new wave of British heavy metal legends like Motorhead, Saxon, Iron Maiden almost a bit, and even like the newer bands that are in the blackened sort of element scene, like Go Whore and Toxic Holocaust and Skeleton Witch. Really comparing the production on this album is obviously just much more cleaner, but also you could still feel the rawness that is brought with the band when they're writing and recording. Really, really dialed it in with this release. The album art is absolutely gorgeous. Originally, it was supposed to be a black and white, but now with this one adding a little bit of speckles of color into it, just enough to where it just looks like the flames or whatever from the album cover are just kind of highlighting the shadows a bit, I guess you could say, with it. Really adds this cool sort of dark, eerie sort of element to it that really brings the album to life, hearing it while looking at this album art too. To wrap things up, Demiser really proved once again that they are a force to be reckoned with, more than just being, a typical black and thrash band. Really kind of just proving that they deserve to be, in the namesakes, in the talks of other bands that have come out within the last few years, including Demiser. Definitely, absolutely blown me away with this release. I would give this release a solid 8 out of 10. Just a fun album, a fun listen, a short listen, even with the album closer In Nomen Baphomet being an 8-minute just epic piece of itself. Nah, this band has just absolutely just honed in on everything that really makes them good and just have absolutely perfected it. Hopefully there's going to be some tour dates soon with this album. Hopefully looking to something maybe around winter time next year. That would be fantastic. If you haven't listened to this album yet, I highly recommend it. This is definitely one of my thrash metal album releases of the year. Definitely a really great listen to if you're a big fan of just black rock and roll, black metal, speed metal, just dirty, filthy, raw metal, really. Demiser is for you. So make sure you guys pick up Slave to the Scythe, available now on Metal Blade Records and Blacklight Media. Make sure you're following the band and staying up to date on everything. If you haven't already, check out my interview that I've done with Demiser to Demiser. It's somewhere pinned on the channel here on the outro card or whatever. But with that being said, thank you guys again for this. What did you guys think of this album? Let me know what are some of your favorite tracks down below. And until the next time, I'll see you guys very, very soon on the next video. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care. Bye.